Well, I think sometimes the media takes statements out of context. And I then reply that it is not that money is not being made from solid minerals. It is absolutely impossible for anyone, particularly foreigners far away outside the African continent, coming to Nigeria, locating a site, not be geologists, and they go straight to where they can find particular solid minerals, and they start mining it, and they take it away. So it may be correct to say government is not able to harvest, or to harvest what accrues from solid mineral exploration, and that the illegality is being done, and people know who are behind it. I then give an example of myself. And one correction that must be made, and this is not fair on the part of those who report. At no time did I say retired generals. I have many friends who are retired and who are suffering, who can't change batteries in their car. They retire as pure military officers. They never did any quartermaster job. They never had any political exposure, even the days of military rule. So it would be, as a matter of fact, not correct to suggest to anyone that all retired generals are involved in a particular crime. It's not sensible to say so. That would border on reckless, sweepy generalization. That is not what I said. I said the problem is that some, and I still believe it to be so, I know it to be so, I said some retired generals are involved, and somehow we are not deploying the same force as a nation that we deploy to protect our
oil in the Niger Delta.
Our oil in Niger Delta. And I said, a retired general who I had the honor of appointing and who graciously accepted to serve as a returning officer in a primary election when I was national chairman of APC. In his report back to me as chairman, after presenting the report of the primary, he said, Adams, you are worried about the primaries, but what he has seen is far more serious than that. And that the banditry that is evolving, or kidnapping as it then was, kidnapping, there was no use of the word banditry then, that those kidnappers, in the first instance, are in the services of very powerful, in his own word, powerful, some powerful retired generals. And the youth chopper, this was a retired general telling me to the illegal site, as they take the mined gold and whatever is it that they are mining, they drop weapons to civilians who have been trained on the use of those weapons to provide protection for the illegal mining activity. He added that sometimes, of course, they offer that protection, but some other time they divert these arms to now terrorize innocent citizens, or sometimes kidnapping.
Yeah.
And I then said to him, there is no way I can comprehend
what he was
the
saying.
story because I have no military training or security training. And I pleaded with him to do a summary, not more than 2, maximum 3 pages, that I will submit as chairman of the ruling party at that time. I will submit to the president, who incidentally is a retired general before becoming the president of Nigeria. So he will understand the issues clearer, and advise him, put your phone number, so that the president can call you if he so wish, and you can give him this detailed security dimension. Because he warned me that if that thing is not checkmated, what is happening in the northeast will be a child's play. And he told me this gold run from that area all the way to Kaduna, all the way to the southwest, by the way, up to Oshiomhole State and elsewhere. I also know in my part of the state, there are solid minerals.
So what did the president
and so on. And so I took this letter, as I promised him, because I saw a patriotic officer, though retired, but not tired of his loyalty to Nigeria is not weakened. And I gave it to the then president, Buhari. And I said so. And I said, sir, go through it. It is self-explanatory. My advice, I can only advise the president. My advice is that you can call him and he can give you more graphic details of what he saw and what he knows and his fears about what will happen if this is not nipped in the bud. And so I said, when we lament, as the committee was doing, that we are not exploiting our solid, that is not true. It is being exploited, but it's being done on a large scale illegally.
Yeah,
I stand by that.
Good.
I know it to be the truth because the general has no business flattering me.
Good.
And I also know that at some other level, there are pockets of everybody talking about some nationalities coming to do illegal mining. They are cutting away this kind of. Can you, just like I argued when I was in the NSC, when NPC used to talk about smuggling, and I said something of such volume, how can it be smuggled out and nobody sees it?
Yeah.
So you can't have that scale of illegal activity, right? Without men and women of power
and resources.
Cover.
Yeah. No, but
and resources.
What
and I said in that state statement in the Senate, I said, can you imagine who can afford a chopper? And it's not every chopper that can carry out that kind of activity. It cannot be a civilian chopper. A chopper that can go irregularly to carry arms, drop, mine the item whether they are gold, take them out to a location where they prepare them, and they pass through our borders.
Yeah, but what you have said, Senator, is not different from what was reported.
No,
some
what I don't like is the attempt, like when I heard you here saying retired generals. That's
no,
fair.
some we're talking about some. Yeah,
that's the correct word to say.
Yeah, some generals.
But also, this is not to limit it
to some generals.
To some generals.
Well, fine, but the point.
Perhaps the more appropriate word, because I limited to it because of what that general told me.
Yeah.
I understand. He mentioned to me that some retired generals, very powerful people were connected, were involved in it.
Yeah.
But I also believe that there are other non-generals
who
are powerful, who are also providing cover
for
these foreigners. I mean, let me ask you, you think it's so possible
No.
for something that is so widespread to be taking place and
that's why
everybody lament it, except those who should deal with it.
And that's why you raised the issue.
That's right.
Currently, I mean, you talked about the former president, but we're not talking about
I will be specific because I did.
Yeah.
On oath, I can swear I did. I know we call it Baba Megeskia.
Yeah, but when
he knows I gave it to him.
Yeah, but when you talked about the fact that when you discussed this issue, weren't you talking about the current president or the current executive or president not doing what was done in the Niger Delta by employing military might, to handle this situation? Even if you can't get the generals, I mean, you're not mentioning names. One would ask you why a name's not being mentioned, for example. But even if you can't, Nigeria can get to these some generals or some
those
resource people, yes.
Yeah.
Why can't the nation get to the foreigners you are discussing about and probably arrest them or stop them from doing this?
Now, what I can say is this: there is no need to talk about the present government. If there is a disease that has been there, and I spoke to that disease, and I spoke to the time I became aware of the disease, and I went on to name or describe my source of information and the step I took as a Nigerian to see if the then power can deal with it. Of course, until it is dealt with. My point is, I did not come to Abuja to lament.
Yeah.
I came to the Senate to listen, to hear cries, to hear stories, and to act on them. And in acting, that's exactly what we did on the floor of the Senate. To say, we have to find courage. If you the story is edited. We withdraw Mr. President's attention to this scale of abuse, this scale of looting of Nigeria solid minerals by foreigners or even by Nigerians themselves. So, and that is what it should be. Every day we sit in the Senate, particularly in the primary, we pass motions urging government, not necessarily because he started the problem, not necessarily because he's not doing something about the matter, but that we want more action. That is why I went on to emphasize. I'm aware, for example.
Don't forget, it's the same APC government, and government is a continuum.
Now, this is the problem you have. doesn't matter the color of the government.
No. What I'm saying, government
doesn't matter.
That's what I just said.
For
Government
you,
is a continuum.
That's right. Now, this government, I'm aware, I think the current Minister of Solid Minerals has taken steps to recruit what they call marshals, to deal with these, some of these illegal miners. That for me is a wonderful initiative. It is to acknowledge that something illegal is going on and it cannot be allowed.
And one must also commend you that you raised the issue.
Before the
it was good that you raised the issue.
But
because that's what you're there to do as a senator.
Yeah, but beyond this commendation, let me finish the totality of my statement. I said, I appreciate that initiative, that somebody in the ministry, the president has appointed a minister, and the minister is concerned that we can't be here and people are cutting away our natural endowment.
Yes.
And he has set up some marshals, etc., which is probably what is within his control. But I said, I would like to see government deploying the same amount of force in protecting our solid minerals and dealing with those who are involved in illegal mining, just like illegal bunkering, with the same force of JTF, Joint Military Command, to deal with anyone involved, so that let it not be seen as if when it comes to oil, we are ready, because you are touching our vein. And then this other one, because we don't have the numbers, we seem to think that we can use less force. And because the people involved are powerful, only superior power can neutralize them. I said so.
Very cool.
Because for me, this is what the president will expect of a loyal senator, right? To draw his attention and to draw the country's attention, so that when those people are being dealt with, this country, somebody will bring in political motive. Oh, this general, maybe this retired general, this retired PAMSEC, this former labor leader, one comrade, maybe because he made the statement last week, that's why they are dealing with him. Let people know that these are serious economic crimes. That should be dealt with. Because part of the complexity of dealing with criminality in Nigeria is the ethnic dimension that is evoked, and sometimes compounded by political affiliation. And once they evoke the ethnic dimension, and even sometimes compounded by religion, and then summarized by political affiliation, the debate is closed. Everybody become blind.
All right, so
but the good news,
government is doing something.
The good news,
that's what you just said.
They are doing something. I mean, they've recruited people to deal with it.
Okay.
But I think that the weapon that these guys, according to that general, and I believe him, the weapons that are used to